Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the South. More specifically, we are in Williamsburg, Virginia, and even more specifically than that, we're at the Ripley's, believe it or not, here in Williamsburg. Now, I have been to every Ripley's in the United States, but I do like to stop back in whenever I am in town, stop back in and visit the Ripley's to see what's changed, to see what's been updated. They regularly rotate exhibits, change things. So I just want to check back in and see what's going on at the local Ripley's. So please, follow me. Now, a lot of the Ripleys do have crazy, outlandish buildings, but the one here in Williamsburg is a little more subtle and low-key. Outside here, they do have a portrait of Abraham Lincoln etched in the hood of a Lincoln, Lincoln also being the name of a car. It's been etched to show the face of President Lincoln in the rust. Up here above Transformer, we got the bull shark, and then over here is a giant Millennium Falcon made out of car parts. See the Cuban Popeye relaxing here on the bench. There's some sort of interactive wall. It says wave your hand in front of objects to interact with them. So there we go. There you go. Spread the balls around. Oh look, they're reconflagrating. There is LeBron James made out of balls, but not basketballs. They're actually airsoft pellets. All right, entering here, passing the Jade Pagoda. There is a all-white maneless lion. So this is a male lion here that happens to have no mane and also be albino. That's actually a really cool lion there. Do see a lot of these car part creations at Ripley's. We saw the car part Transformer, the car part Millennium Falcon, and here we have a car part Iron Man, which technically is made of iron, I think. And there we have Stephen Colbert made out of push pins, and then the tallest man who ever lived. Say it with me, folks. We have Mr. Robert Wadlow standing at the impressive 8 feet 11 inches. It's a junk art figure, mother and child. It says created by the renowned junk artist Leo Sewell of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can see these are actually really impressive. They do have different sets of these junk people at different Ripley's, but you look closely and you can kind of make out some of the items used to create their bodies. See, yeah, there's like a Ninja Turtle right there. You just spent a long time looking at these and just seeing the different items. The fork right there. The Sultan from Aladdin there as well. It's the matchstick. Another Ripley stalwart is buildings made out of matchsticks. Here's the U.S. Capitol made completely out of matchsticks. Although I think that would be ill-advised to make the U.S. Capitol out of matchsticks. You know, you wouldn't want it burning to the ground. You'll make it out of a much safer and less flammable material. Because, you know, things get really flammable here. Oh, a somewhat different version of Zoltar here. We'll go ahead and feed him $1 there, and we will choose our birth date. I am a Scorpio. There we go.
Hello, friend. Remember this: not every question needs an answer.
Not every question needs an answer. Oh, we got my fortune there. That was actually 2 fortunes. But if you want to read my fortune, can pause the video and read it right now. Oh, I gotta move my thumb. Okay. Ah, there we go. Now you can pause it and read it. And there's Ariana Grande, made out of toothpaste. They smeared different colored toothpaste onto the canvas there. Here we can try to roll our tongue. Hopefully no one's on the other side of this mirror making fun of me right now. Some interesting shoes here in this case. Chinese pedestal shoes, which looks like a weird double high heel. And then down here, this is crazy. This is a Giant's boot. This looks bigger than Wadlow's shoe. It's so wide. This is to belong to a 8-foot tall farmer in England. And it's like it's just at a very, very wide foot. I've never seen a shoe that wide before. Here are some boot warmers. Put these inside your boot, plug them in, and then you have nice toasty boots waiting for you in the morning. There's a cane collection here. Of course, Robert Ripley himself was a personal collector of walking canes. And you see here, this cane here actually has a telescope on the end of it. It is used by a sea captain. Oh, there's Robert Ripley there in his office.
Please, come in. I'm so glad you'll be able to see some of the unbelievable things I've collected. It hasn't been easy. In my day, a trip from New York to the heart of China took months. You know, my travels took me to hundreds of countries. Some of them no longer exist.
An innocuous looking box here with a slight red glow peering out. I guess the only thing to do is to open it up. Oh, jeez. Got me with a little blast of compressed air and some spooky music. Some personal property of Robert Ripley. There's some of his trademark bow ties, as well as his slippers down there. See that brick there? It says, "Don't spit on the sidewalk." It's a public health message, kind of like you know, the current situation that we've been going through the last few years. This was a version of that from 100 years ago. They didn't want people spitting on the sidewalk, spreading all sorts of diseases. These are Ripley's cigarette cards. Apparently they actually gave out cards with packs of cigarettes, giving, believe it or not, facts. It is a collection of prison shivs. Always interesting to see collections of shivs. They're all different pieces of metal modified by prisoners in order to stab one another with. Looking at these, it makes me feel like prison might be a pretty rough place. Various interesting items in here. There's a antique fire extinguisher. It's like a glass grenade filled with firefighting chemicals that you would throw to put out a fire. And this lamp here was carved out of a World War I era shell. I imagine that would be nerve-wracking. Hopefully you don't carve too deep or it might explode. It's a camel foot here, and what they're talking about here is Roman Emperor Vitellius. He said he was the greatest glutton in history, spent more than $375,000 a day on food, ate 1,000 oysters a day, and indulged in such dishes as nightingale tongues, peacock brains, livers of parrotfish, lamprey's milk, and even camel's feet. Some medical quackery tools. You have a little jar here used for bloodletting. You cut people and collect their blood in that jar. And then this here, an electronic hairbrush, seems pretty terrifying. It says it's actually cured baldness, or allegedly cured baldness, but I'd be nervous brushing my hair with an electrified hairbrush. This is a radium belt. You just strap it around your waist, plug it in, and apparently it cures just about everything. That's cool. Just a little tiny shred of fabric from the original Wright Brothers plane. During this area, passing through this vault door here, have a cosmonaut water suit. This would be used in case of a water landing. A little waterproof suit there. Some delicious astronaut food. We got turkey bites. Ooh, it's like Thanksgiving in a little packet. And then what says, oh, it's a pineapple fruitcake for dessert. Somewhat terrifying and ghoulish item in here. The Akoi human skin mask that is actually made out of human flesh, which is just downright terrifying. Also the Tibetan skull bowl there, made from a human skull with different adornments added to it. And then a mummified falcon there in its little sarcophagus. It's even got a cute little human face added to it. Some scrimshawed items back when people just loved drawing on whales' teeth. And there's actually a scrimshawed turtle shell, some etchings on it. There's a scrimshawed opium pipe back when opium was super popular. And a human bone flute back when playing music on people's bones was super popular. There's a Chinese camel bone carving, so every bit of that sculpture is all camel bones. And then down here we see an item that you'll find in about any Ripley's. It is a vampire killing kit, which is actually really great to have on hand in case, you know, a Dusk Till Dawn style vampire attack breaks out. All the items in here are actually forms of money. This is an elephant tail money. Because you use an elephant tail as a piece of currency. We got some wooden dollars here and a bird used as money there. A bird of paradise traded for money. I guess anything can be money as long as you're willing to trade it for something. And as we enter this room, see a wax figure of Eric Sprague, the lizard man, one of modern times' most notorious freaks. And then the king of the sideshow next to him, one of history's greatest enhanced sideshow performers, doing his trademark one-handed handstand there. Now we saw the wax figure of the lizard man, Eric Sprague, as we came into this room. But here is pieces of cinder block autographed by the lizard man. Apparently he would place these cinder blocks over his crotch and then someone would break them over his groin with a sledgehammer, and then he'd autograph them and give them to Ripley's. Oh yeah, and there's one of Wadlow's shoes.
Look at this two-faced.
Up here we have a massive alligator caught in Louisiana. He was a notorious dog eater. He would travel around Louisiana gobbling up dogs. And as you can see, they found 10 dog collars in his stomach. So they took him out and they put him on display, but they also displayed his trophies of all the dogs that he swallowed. See the giant prehistoric shark's mouth there. And then teeny tiny two-headed calf there. Looks like this shark could just swallow this tiny two-headed calf in one little gulp. This is actually a really tiny, adorable two-headed calf as far as two-headed calves go. Walter Hudson, who I believe at one point was the world's largest man. He weighed 1,400 pounds at his largest. Here we have busts of some of the famed Ripley's characters. The double-eyed man here, Lu Chung. He had two pupils in each eye. And then we have the blue-faced man, Ching Fu, who had blue skin for mysterious unknown reasons. And then Thomas Wetters, who had the world's largest nose. And yes, that is quite a nose. It's an exhibit on John Brookfield, the Iron Bender, and some of his feats of strength. You can see the coil here that he wrapped with his bare hands, and apparently tore a deck of cards in half with his bare hands. Try that at home. It's hard. I mean, I've never tried it, but it just seems hard. Oh, look at this big old cobra here. And then one of my favorite rare creatures, the fur-bearing trout, which allegedly would grow fur to help keep it warm in the cold waters of Lake Superior. There's a painted vampire bat there. See, on one wing we have Dracula, which is fitting. And then I think, I don't know what that is on the other one. Is that Freddy Krueger on the other wing? Or, I don't know. Leave a comment in the comment section if you know who the other painting is. Here are shoes for sheep. Let's see these boots that we put over a sheep's hooves to help combat hoof rot. It's a 19th century fish hook gun used for hunting marlins. Apparently they would use this to actually execute the marlins at point blank range after pulling them into the boat. You can see a tiny little petrified five-legged frog there. Here we have a rare German Wolpertinger. This is basically a taxidermied creature, much like the jackalope, but a Wolpertinger can pretty much be anything. Just a conglomeration of different animal parts put together. You can see this as the base of a rabbit. It's got like bird claws, bird wings, and I believe it has a raccoon tail as well. Very cool, amazing creature there. I'd like to have my own Wolpertinger one day. Now, all of these items displayed out here were removed from a cow's stomach. Apparently cows, while they're grazing, will just gobble up everything. Some of these stuff, there's like bullets in there, things that a cow probably should not eat. And it says this is a cow magnet. Apparently sometimes farmers will place a magnet inside of a cow when they're young so that it holds all the metal items in one place so they don't pass through the cow, hurting or killing them. Some prehistoric items in here. Got a woolly mammoth tooth, a trilobite, and even a T-Rex tooth. A hippopotamus jaw, an armadillo, and a New Guinea pig whistle. Some rotating creatures here. You have the teeny tiny two-faced kitten there, and then the dreaded two-headed magpie as well. The smoking horse there. It says that this man taught his horse how to smoke. You know, that's it just makes me feel bad about humanity. So we head in here. Oh, there we go. Of course, every Ripley's by decree must have a shrunken head. You can see that shrunken head being held there by a very proud Javaro headhunter. Some interesting jewelry here, including this monkey skull necklace. But what I find most interesting is this Possum jawbone necklace. It is a shaman's fetish. It's said that whoever wears this is imbued with the spiritual powers of the possum. I find that very interesting. I would love to be able to get my hands on that and wear it and inherit the spiritual powers of the possum. Of course, I'm curious what all powers are entailed in that. I guess definitely the power to become unconscious whenever you become frightened. Some ritualistic items here. This is a bone bowl used in African sacrifices. It says where you would carve up the bones of your sworn enemies and put them in this bowl. Also a Fiji Island cannibal fork. I guess that's the sort of fork that would be used to gobble down human flesh. There's a Headhunter Sword. I imagine that would be very useful when lopping off the heads that you want to shrink. This is a Mandaean Indian ritual used to placate evil spirits. Said that the men would put hooks through their chest meat and allow themselves to be dangled, and eventually their skin would rip. Then they were forced to cut off one of their fingers and run around in circles. I mean, that sounds like the worst day ever. It looks like we have a shooting gallery in here. It's set up like a paleontologist's office. Now, I'd love to shoot up a paleontologist's office, but it only accepts coins, and the coin machine is out of order. Come on, take my dollar. Take it, take it, take it. Okay, it doesn't work. Here we have portraits of the American presidents painted on seagull feathers. We actually have a bonus president right here. They added Ben Franklin. You know, he never was president technically, but I think it's fair to make him an honorary president. So we look here, there's Abraham Lincoln, and unfortunately, it only goes up to to George W. Bush. So it looks like we're gonna need a few more feathers. Here's some Valentine Lent Art. I'm sure your wife or girlfriend would be very happy if you got her a box full of lint instead of actual chocolates. It's a matchstick violin. I wonder if you play it fast enough, if it would just burst into flames. I am notoriously bad at these games here, where you try to get the metal loop around the metal zigzag. I'm doing pretty good. This is probably better than I've ever done right here. Oh, jeez. Okay, oh God, it's a terrible noise. Terrible noise. And in this exhibit, we have some of the most disgusting sculptures I've ever seen. That is a bust made out of chewed up tobacco. That's really gross. And then that's chewed up money, which is also gross. Then there's a Statue of Liberty made out of chewed chewing gum, which I bet that's all sticky and gross. And then this super gross George Washington head made out of popcorn. Some more matchstick buildings here, including the Leaning Tower of Pisa in matchstick form. Some very skilled wood whittling here. This would just be one chunk of wood, and someone would be able to whittle it into all these different interconnected parts. Some interesting items crammed inside bottles. We've got a ship in a light bulb there. There's 3 boxes of matches somehow put in that tiny bottle there. And then an arrow successfully driven through a bottle of Old Spice. Here we have some very strange outfits here. This is a woman's outfit here made completely out of guitar picks. I bet that's super comfortable. And then we have a python cummerbund there. It's interesting. And human hair, a human hair vest for those who want to be covered in human hair at all times. This here is a dress made out of dirty coffee filters. You look down at the bottom, there's actually tea bags making little danglies there at the bottom. And the matching purse is made out of Camel cigarette packets. I guess a coffee and cigarettes ensemble. It's a 50-pound ball of string created by middle schoolers, and a dog hair hat. Of course, dog hair notoriously foul-smelling in the rain, so I'd leave it at home if it's raining outside. This case has very, very tiny items in it, including these miniature pliers and paintings on dimes. There's the Last Supper painted on a dime. If you look closely there, you can see there's a clown carved on the end of that toothpick. These are teeny tiny chalk carvings of some of the Ripley's characters placed inside of a walnut on this grain of rice. If you look really close, you can see that there's a painting of a man in a boat on the grain of rice. The world's smallest starfish there, you can see it clung to that tiny clamshell there. And here's a mother and child sculpted out of kernels of popcorn. There's portraits of famous people painted on black beans. Let's see if I can recognize any of them. You can see the Frankenstein monster there at the top. There's Charlie Chaplin. I think I see some Beatles and Elvis as well. Leave a comment in the comment section if you can spot a famous person. Oh wait, is that Hitler? Another fortune teller here. The wizard tells all. Let's give him our dollar. Oh, I don't know what's gonna take. Okay, takes that dollar. Again, I'm a Scorpio. Oh, the dollar didn't take. Let's try that again. Come on, take the dollar. There we go. Okay. Now let him know I'm a Scorpio. Oh, there he goes. Oh, crazy noises. All right. And there is my fortune. He gave me 2 fortunes as well. I guess it's 2 for one day on fortunes here. All right, so this is truly challenging here. It says, look at the chart and say the color, not the word. So I'm gonna do this in one shot, unedited, see if I can nail this. Green, red, blue, yellow, blue, black. I think that's black. Red, purple, green, black, red. See, it takes a second. Yellow, green, purple, black, red, green, blue. Okay, I think I nailed that. One of the long necked women there with the coils wrapped around her neck. If you remember at the beginning when I was making tongue rolls, this is actually a two-sided mirror where you can view people making tongue rolls. No one's making tongue rolls right now, but watch out. There's that terrifying white lion there. And it looks like it is time to exit through the Vortex Tunnel. As you can see, the walls begin to swirl around me as I lose all perception of what is up and what is down. Oh, we're not quite done yet. We have the torture section. Here's English man trap. When you had to catch a man. Now, according to the sign there, this man here was locked in this tiny cage because his trousers split. 20 years in a little box because he split his pants. I would definitely be locked in a cage right now if that was still the law. What's this here? It's like you walk into a graveyard, and you walk into the open grave here. Okay, I guess I was waiting for maybe a trick of some sort, but I think it's just a way to view these gravestones. It says John Yeast, pardon me for not rising. Ah, a yeast joke. So apparently these are real epitaphs. It says where they are buried at. It says here lies an atheist, all dressed up and nowhere to go. Here's one in Detroit. It says here lies a lot of dust. Here lies the body of Jonathan Blake, stepped on the gas instead of the brake. I definitely want to have a joke inscription on my tombstone. It's so much fun. I came without being consulted and leave without my consent. Yep, that pretty much sums up life right there.
You hit the wall? I hit the wall.
So thank you for joining me here today at Ripley's Believe It or Not here in Williamsburg, Virginia. Appreciate you guys watching. If you like these videos, if you like seeing roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff, please subscribe. It'll let you know when new videos come out. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling a variety of enamel pins in the Etsy shop. All that information is in the description of this video, and all that helps keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.